hard to believe that this is indeed the last Friday of January, but here we are. What about the temperatures? That's another focal point. Eastern Canada still dealing with the Arctic air in place. Yes, it's modified, but it's still going to be a chilly day overall across the Great Lakes into Atlantic Canada as well. Into the west, actually not too bad. Primarily across Alberta, temperatures will likely be in the high single digits to the low double digits through the day. And that cold air across the lower Great Lakes will continue to clear off towards the east. It modifies, and over the next couple of days, including the weekend, Alberta looks quite nice temperature-wise. A bit of a break, if you will, from typical temperatures. So speaking of which, here's what to expect for the conditions for Friday afternoon. Still holding on to the warmth and the wet weather for BC. Warmth across Alberta, still cold across the eastern prairies through the Great Lakes and into its Atlantic Canada. And with the winds through the afternoon, it's still going to feel quite chilly, especially across portions of Saskatchewan, Manitoba, and across Ontario and into Atlantic Canada. Atlantic Canada, you're still dealing with sea effect snow. Lake effect snow off of Georgian Bay and Lake Huron will start to wind down. An Alberta Clipper system moves in through Alberta and then continues to dive southeast through the course of Saturday. We'll start off on the west coast. In terms of temperatures, not too bad. 11 degrees Victoria. We do have some rainfall building in as well. The snow levels or the freezing levels will be around 1,600 meters. So that means Whistler likely going to see some snow throughout the afternoon. Even the rainfall for Friday will be heaviest or steadiest during the morning and afternoon. Through the evening, it starts to clear, but it's set to be a fairly wet day on Friday. Rainfall warnings are posted, so please have the umbrellas handy. Here's a look as well at snowfall once again in the higher elevations, generally across the North Shore Mountains above 1,600 meters. Here's what to expect across the north. Temperatures around minus 19 through Inuvik, and Whitehorse, you're looking at a comfortable -5 with some flurries. And in terms of the active weather, it's really a story about a fast-moving system advancing east, moving towards James Bay through the second half of the day on Friday, and then high pressure moving back in behind it. Across the prairies, you're going to deal with the warmth. Across Alberta and Grand Prairie, you're going to deal with a little bit of freezing rain mixing with some rainfall through the late stages of the afternoon and evening. The system responsible then moves its way through Saskatchewan and Manitoba as it dives southeast, and there will be the risk of some freezing rain as this system clears. And in terms of snowfall, it will be fairly widespread, but it's not necessarily all that dramatic, just a couple of centimeters outside of Alberta because you're just too warm. Temperatures will be chilly as well across southern Ontario. -12 is your high in Toronto with mostly sunshine. Lake effect snow will start to wind down as well. Southern Quebec, you're still dealing with generally fair weather, but it's still going to be relatively cold. Once again, across Georgian Bay and Lake Huron, the lake effect snow will start to turn and shut off as the upper winds and the surface winds become more northeasterly. And Saturday night, it's a great night for stargazing if you're into that thing. My daughter just discovered what a telescope can show. Unfortunately, it's been cloudy in my neck of the woods the past couple of nights. Here's a look at the additional snowfall from the lake effect snow, which will once again come to an end late. Here's the forecast conditions for your Friday. Atlantic Canada, sea effect snow continues off of the Atlantic across western Newfoundland and portions of Cape Breton. Minimal snow in these areas, more snow on Route Sunday and into Monday.